was deep. The ending, it was deep. I don't, man, like, whew, this is better than the first time I saw it. I don't know how you feel about it, but whew, this hit me in a different place on the second go around.
Definitely. Man, I hate that it be your own niggas, man.
I, yo, you raw. All right. It's time to do the review. You know what I'm saying? We got a review. We just watched it. So a fresh review with fresh eyes. Give me your initial impressions. Just if you can remember back to the first time you saw the trailer before you saw the film, what were your initial impressions before seeing the film?
Um, I actually knew that I would be in for a ride. I remember looking at the trailer for the film, being really impressed with the cast
Hmm?
and seeing that it was, all black, well, mostly black cast, black director. Um, I was hoping that it was going to be executed well, and so I dove in.
Most definitely. I saw the trailer and I saw a love film. I saw a film about racial controversy, and I just was like, "Yo, I really want to delve into this and see what it's about." And it's just been a while since I've seen a black film that was steeped in meaning. You know what I'm saying? Like Love Jones and Love and Basketball and stuff like that. Those are things I've seen in the 90s. And in the 2019s, when I saw it, I was like, bro, I was hoping that I would get something meaningful as far as a black love story. So that was what I was hoping for. So give me your highs and lows of this film.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't really have lows. I don't. I think that the storyline was written perfectly. No scenes. There were no throwaway scenes. I think everything was an integral part of the story. Um, Definitely would agree with you that seeing it the second time around, kind of, it hits you harder because you start piecing more together. Um, it did hit on like I said before, when we were looking at the trailer for what was that, Black and Blue, I did say at that point in time that there was a lot of controversy between things going on with police brutality, and whether or not black people are provoking this, and the optics. I just think that this was a well done film, told from our side. From our side.
Right.
Uh, there was one low. I pick things apart.
Okay.
Um, the way old girl was taking out Jodie Smith Turner's braids is not how you take out braids, but that's about it. She unraveled the whole shit. Nobody does that. It's too time consuming, and they had to skip town. But other than that, I mean, I couldn't find continuity errors. I couldn't find, things that they missed or things that they should have cleaned up. I just think this was a really well done film.
Word. I'm gonna have to agree with you. Well, with on the part of me not being able to find continuity errors. I'm not a hairdresser. I'm not exactly familiar with, taking out braids or whatever. That's something I didn't even pay attention to. But this film is layered with meaning. There are the components where an angry black man could levy his frustrations about what he has to deal with when dealing with a black woman. But the thing that makes this film so beautiful is like you get to understand why she feels that way, why she's in a prison of anger and frustration, and how she has her own way of wanting to protect him, but at the same time protect herself. And this is a journey of, in my perspective, I would like to say this is a journey of two people learning to live in the midst of a tragedy. You know, two people that have might been a prison to their lifestyles, to what they feel like their responsibilities are to society. You know, we got to have a job, we got to get this, we got to do that. But they've never taken the time to, as adults, enjoy the things that may have been a part of their childhood. You know, the component of her saying, well, I rode horses when I was a child, and him like, I ain't never rode a horse. Or, you know, them stopping to dance at a certain space. It was like, this was a tragedy for them, but in the midst of this tragedy, they learned to live. They learned to let go and understand the beauty that is life. She learns that the Black community isn't all about black and white, that in the South, and like this, that's something I really feel like is a deep meaning to this, is that in the South there's a completely different understanding of abuse, and how black people are taken advantage of. And yeah, you're on the run, but these people here have to deal with it every day. So when you come around, hey, the drinks is on us. We know what you went through. We know what struggles you're dealing with. And I'm not gonna levy that weight on you. We're gonna just, if this is a moment in time you need, we're gonna give you that. You know, and there was so many different instances where our community was trying to appreciate them and love them, for not because they were hardcore murderers, because they could see themselves in the tragedy that happened. And they were like, yo, we've seen what you've been through, and like, let us give you that moment of, we love you, we protect you, we see what you're going through, and we're not gonna allow, you know, the outside opinion of the world to affect how we treat you. We're going to treat you like you're one of us. And that was so powerful. As a
Man,
man, I grew up in the North. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, but I lived in Atlanta for 10 years, and that was a very comforting part of living in Atlanta. It was them embracing me, and kind of just being like, yo, whatever you went through up there, they ain't got shit to do with down here. Like, we love you, we appreciate you, and we'll support you. And that hit home for me. Well, I'm sorry, you were about to say something.
yeah, I lived there for 10 years as well, which is crazy. It's just like the vibe in Atlanta is just like, you black, okay, you good here.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
something that hit me really hard, you know, that I have two teenage boys,
yeah,
and just seeing, the teenage boy in the South already having to deal with so much bullshit. You know, you pile on the teenage angst, and the hormones are going crazy at that time and at that age, and you just, whew, you know what I mean? So even he's like looking up to them, like, wow, you know, you see so many younger generations like, how could black people just go through all of this shit and not do something about it? I'm tired of it. We got to do something about this shit. Unfortunately, it didn't end well for him, and we
and
saw a few instances of that. There was one that I didn't agree with. I think there was this it might have been after Freddie Gray, and there were some teens out there protesting, and the mom came out there and whooped their ass because she didn't want them out there doing that, getting in trouble, or them getting shot too, and just,
yeah, I definitely agree. There is a perspective where the children see this as defiance, and this seen as an opportunity for them to be a man. Like, I looked at that as this young person looking at it like, this is my opportunity to stand up. I see that they've stand up, and I want to stand up too. And how he doesn't understand that these two people were in a complex situation, that,
absolutely.
you know, they didn't want to be in this. They weren't trying to stand up for the black community. They were just trying to survive. and this young man misconstrued it and took it as, yo, we can't take this anymore, we got to stand up. And I think, I think this was a beautiful way for the director to show how perspective can cause harm,
Absolutely.
unwillingly. Like, these two people weren't trying to start a revolution.
Oh,
They were
absolutely not.
just they were trying to get through a moment. They were like, yo, we just want to go home. Like, and I feel like this is what makes Daniel Kaluuya in this film, he is marvelous, because he is really embodying the sense of, I just want to go home. I just want to see my
Absolutely.
family. I look, I don't know you, and I don't even feel like we really have a connection, but I don't want to see something wrong happen to you. Even if you're acting out of character or if you're doing something crazy, I don't want to see you hurt. So, like, I'm going to do what I have to do to protect you because you're a part of something familiar to me, and in her representing almost the polar opposite of, I'm educated and this is wrong and you shouldn't allow this to happen to you, and what the fuck are you doing? And, like, it was, there's such a dichotomy between these two characters, and it was beautiful to see them eventually not look at each other as adversaries, but look at each other as halves of the same whole.
100%. I was just about to interject and say that the beauty of that was having people from those two sides of the spectrum. And then, it's sad because it's tragic. You don't want it to be this way, but either side of the spectrum you sit on, you know, you're still just black to the people watching, to the
Mm-hmm.
cops.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you take the, okay, we're going to do things the right way, or whether you are trying to stand up to the man, either way, shit don't always work out for us.
Word. Even down to, if we take it from that level and take it to the level of someone whom has taken the risk to become educated, and she has taken her life to a different level. And even though he hasn't decided to go that far, they are still equals. They are still worthy of love. Both parties are worthy of love. Both parties are worthy of being saved. Both parties are worthy of being appreciated and protected. And they both had to come up, I mean, more so her than him, but when they both had to come up off of their high horses and learn the value of appreciating and loving each other, and how it is important for them to connect, to be together, because if they aren't together, they won't survive. And this is essential to more than 100 years of, to me, this film represents the African American experience through time. If you were in America and you were born in America, it doesn't matter whether you're the educated one or the other person that just is accepting life and loving their family, is that we all are the same, and we have to learn how to appreciate each other and support each other regardless of the situation. The first time I saw this film, that was the thing I took away from the most, was me understanding. See, I know I come from a family, a very large family, and no matter whether you're a murderer, whether you're a drug dealer, whether you're a regular 9 to 5 person, whether you went to college or not, when it's family time, we're all the same. When it's time for us to be together, we're all the same. There is no, we might pick at each other, we might make fun of each other, but
Mhm.
we love each other, and we're going to make sure that we are good, whatever needs to happen. And we're going to be here to support each other. And, like, that was such the overall theme, that is something that disheartening when I see my generation and younger generations of young black people. They don't understand that, is that I grew up in that. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. And I don't give a fuck how much money you got or you don't have. We're family, we're family. We're black, we're black. We're connected. I don't give a fuck what you think you are. We are still stuck in the same fucked up situation. And we
Absolutely.
have to learn to support each other and appreciate each other for our differences, whether we eat with our mouth open we eat with our mouth closed.
Absolutely. Yo, I grew up in a large family like that too. My grandmother's generation, well, my great grandparents had 14 children, and we all stayed close. So, there's hundreds of us now.
Mm-mm.
Um, and everybody's on a different side. I have a a brother who's a wild dude, and then I have one who has been a doctor for 21 years now. Um, and we just all look out for each other, not just family though. We took those values out to the Black community. I would be outside, and if I saw some of the other kids whose parents weren't responsible or just didn't have it, I'll pay for their ice cream if I was at the ice cream truck. I've seen my mom see, kids were outside playing with me, knowing their parents weren't home or something, they could come in and get a plate if they was hungry. Just seeing that, and knowing that that kind of community doesn't really exist anymore in times when we really fucking need it. Like, we really need it now. Like,
See, but that's the see now. This is where I differ from your perspective. This exists for me in so many different ways. The person you see today on this screen is a byproduct of me constantly being able to have that no matter where I've gone, whether it was in Florida with my friends, Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina, Baltimore, these like I have been blessed to experience even 2024 a community that has embraced me and has supported and have uplifted me no matter what I was, as long, obviously, as long as I'm not destroying the community, as long as I'm not doing some crazy shit, there is always a community to be there to help me. And I have grown to understand it's my responsibility to be that for other people, and man, it really hurts my heart to hear people such as yourself that feel like you haven't had that community and you haven't been
mm,
recently.
I wouldn't say that I haven't had that kind of community, because I have. I said it's not
Okay,
widespread within the
no,
Black
it's
community anymore, and
right,
it's not.
right. But you know what? I will say that it was spoken upon even in this film with this young lady. If you choose to separate yourself from the community and you're like, I like to be alone. And you have this perspective where you feel like you can't trust anybody. Well, of course you don't have a community because
Right.
there's a point where there's a level of trust that you have to put into, there's a point where you have to give people an opportunity to show you right. Now,
Absolutely.
now, mind you, I understand people have gone through fucked up shits in their life. So it's hard to extend grace. But I have luckily been able to avoid 70%. There have been times when I've been fucked in the ass and bullshit has happened. But for the most part, I've been able to thank God that I've been able to rest in having great friendships. And that's something that I wish to see when I even meet two people. I feel like it's my responsibility to try to exemplify what I've experienced for other people. You know what I'm saying? And this film is just such a case study in that. It's just you can choose to be angry and disconnected. And that's what I was saying towards the beginning of the film when I was talking about her. It's just like you can choose to not trust anybody, but look at what you lose in the process. Or you
Absolutely.
can choose to trust. If you choose to trust, what benefits can come out? Yes, there are going to be times when things are going to go left. Yes, there's going to be problems. Yes, everybody has their own influences, but even if you look at her uncle, even if you look at the guy she put in the trunk, even if you look at the little fat kid, like there are situations where, yes, it's not black or white, it's shades of gray. And you
Hmm.
have to be willing to understand that everything isn't about negativity. Sometimes it's just a complicated situation, but the people that are involved genuinely would like to see you win if you allow them to show you that. So, like,
100%. I mean, I agree with that, but then, look at the Renstrom and things. They trusted, they got this hood dude. Look, come on, we right here. We take you to the. Look at how it ended.
Yeah,
trusted trusted people right up to the end and carried you right to your demise. So, but I think that was another case study, because does what does dude value? And clearly, he valued money over community because he just took the reward.
right, right.
Um,
Yeah, no, I mean everything you're saying is 100% correct. And that is what makes this film as powerful as it is. And I would like to also give credit to the young lady who did this film, that she didn't shy away from the Disney ending. I love that. It made me cry the first time I saw it, but I respect this film so much from not shying away from the raw reality of two people trying to find happiness out of chaos and them having to meet a grave ending. It makes the film more powerful. It makes it such a better discussion. It makes it such a more powerful film. You know what I mean? And I've seen so many reviews about this of people saying, "Oh, this is shit," and "fuck this film," and I'm just like, bro, you don't even understand how great this film
it's
is.
brilliant,
It's brilliant. Thank you.
and
You perfect words.
I think that I've been pissed at the ending if they actually made it out, because that's not reality.
Really? Oh, really? No. I mean, like if they had done the happy ending, I would have been just as happy with it. But there's a certain level of just I don't know. I don't know how to even express it, but either ending would have been beautiful and satisfying. And honestly, I've seen other films that have taken shit like this and have done two different endings, and you could have
Hmm.
saw both, and you could have chosen.
Well, I was about to say Jordan Peele did the two endings with
which film was that?
um oh my goodness, what was the name of it? It was the
Was
first horror film he did.
Get Out?
Yes, Get Out had two endings.
Really? He had multiple endings on that? That's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that.
Mhm.
So, all right. So my question would be to you, my dear, my co-host, the Queen. You know what I'm saying? If we had to give this what is it, a great watch, a good watch, or whatever, what would you give this?
I'm going with classic.
All right, let's go. All right, I am going to have to follow the lead of my queen and say this is a classic film. This is my second time watching this. I bought it when it first came out. I paid $20 for this, and when I first saw it, I ain't playing. I cried my ass off the
I
first time.
wasn't okay this time, and it's my
I
second time. I'm sitting here
yeah,
like, oh, okay, guys.
Ooh, Lord, there was so many moments that had me choked up. Um, this is a classic film, and this is one of those where I'm like, every young black person. No, I don't give a fuck. No, fuck that. Every person needs to see it. I don't care what your ethnicity is. This is such an important film to understand the black experience. This film defines the black experience in so many layers and in so many ways, and it shows the diversity of our culture and how whew, I mean, even down to the music choices. I mean,
Hmm.
the music choices are so phenomenal. Even when they were in the club and you got the old black dudes and they're playing the blues music, like you don't understand. That shit hit me on a core level. Like,
Yeah, it went from blues to Slim
mhm,
Thug to Luther Vandross to it was.
yes, Lord Jesus Christ. You got this is a must see film for any and every person, no matter what your state, color, or creed are. Man, and shout out to the creator and the writer of this film. You've done a phenomenal job. All right, with that being said, I'm going to bring this to a close. Ma'am, did you have any final words?
um Man, if your kids are old enough, show it to them too. I would like for my teens to finally watch. They weren't. I don't think they were there in 2019, but I definitely would
You
like
think
them to sit down and watch this. They're
Okay.
they're they're 14 and 17 now, so
Okay. Little nipple shot out here. You ain't gonna trip on that. You gonna let them. You gonna let them
I'm
embrace.
not. I'm not. Do you think they not looking at that when I fall asleep at 9:30?
I don't know. That's not my response. I don't know, ma'am. I ain't in it. My name Bennett. I ain't in it. All
Come
right.
on now.
With that being said,
You
y'all
were a
have a
teen boy once.
you goddamn right. I didn't seen way more than that, goddamn, when I was younger than that. But
Hey
anyway,
now.
let's not get into my personal life. We will check y'all next time. Keep watching all of the Black Watch theaters. Please make sure you check us out. Real Reviews, vbcradio.com. We're out of here. We love y'all. Peace.